Drop D tuning. Maybe you've heard that thrown around. What the heck does it mean? Well, it's quite simple once you learn it, like a lot of things. Drop D is when you take your sixth string, which is normally an E, and you drop it down to a D. So let's do that. You won't have to turn the string very far. I'm going to play the fourth string. It was almost exactly 180 degrees on my guitar. A half turn. And now I have a D. We'll check it with my tuner. First in regular tuning, so I'm going to bring it back up from a D back up to an E, and again, it's about 180 degrees. Maybe a little more. 180 degrees and a tiny bit more. Now we're back up to E. Well, one of the cool things that happens when you do drop D is that power chords become very easy to play if they're based on the sixth string. So normally when we do a power chord, like G5, we've got this. We've got first finger, third finger, fourth finger. And it's kind of stretchy. It's a little uncomfortable. If we want to play Nirvana, okay, we have to keep making that shape and moving it around. If I drop D, now a power chord looks like this. That's pretty cool, right? Because the G has to come up 2 frets since I dropped it from an E, E flat, D. In order to make this still the same chord, I have to go G. This is now F, so I gotta bring that up to a G, and you can make a power chord like this. Just hit those 3 strings. Alright, you could do that. You could be kind of drunk and do that quite easily. I don't suggest it, but I'm just saying. You could also have weak hands and not very stretchy hands and be able to just plus those, all 3 of those would flatten out that first finger. Pretty cool, right? So that's power chords. Now let's say you want to play a nice ballad. Like, let's say The Water Is Wide, old traditional song, and it's in the key of D. Your first chord is a D, your last chord is a D, and there are a lot of Ds in between. But who wants to start and end on a thin sounding chord? When you can drop the 6th string down to a D, and now that can be your bass note. Much nicer. The water is wide, I cannot cross, neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry 2, and we shall cross, my true love and I. There's a nice, more satisfying depth to the one chord, the D, the main chord that begins and ends the song. Now we've got a big fat D, and I can hit the 6th string every time I play a D. Now what's interesting is I've changed everything on the 6th string, so now I can't play G like this anymore, right? Because this has also gone down 2 frets. This is now an A when I hit it. Everything else has stayed the same, but in order to make a G now, I have to do this. I have to move it up 2 frets. So this is now G, and I can't hit this note. I can't reach the B. Can't do it. So what I can do is instead put a D on this 5th string. And I'm not doing anything with my middle finger. It looks like I am, but I'm not. And then first finger is on the G where it usually is, where we usually have the 3rd finger we're not going to put the first finger there. 5th fret, 5th fret for 6th and 5th string. That's G now. And then I go back to D. B minor is the same because it doesn't involve the 6th string. E minor has to come up 2 frets. So these 2 notes are the same. 2nd fret, 2nd fret. But now the open string has to be brought up 2 frets to make up for the 2 frets that I dropped it down from an E to a D. So this is now E minor. 6th string, 2nd fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 2nd fret. Then back to D. Then my G, my new G. Back to D, 6th string. Back to that G. And then A remains the same because A doesn't use the 6th string. It's nice and full. The pitches only really change on the D chord because this is the same pitches that you're getting. It shouldn't sound any different for the E minor or the G. The only chord that really sounds different is the D. But because it's the beginning and the middle and the end and it shows up so much, the D is everywhere throughout that piece. And because it's the home base, so to speak, sonically, you feel like, oh, I've reached home. Then to have that nice big bass note in the main chord, that's why people use the drop D. And always remember to tune that string back up to normal pitch. 180 degrees, and maybe a little more. Otherwise, the next song you play is going to sound a little strange. I hope this has been helpful. If so, please feel free to subscribe for more useful guitar tips. Happy picking.